Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's Kiki, which is a deeper dive into my conspiracy theory, which is why I think Kenya Moore is a secret member of the Fox Force 5. Okay? Okay, now earlier this week, it dropped from some sources that there was allegedly this, secret beef going on between Garcelle and Kenya Moore. And I'm going to share some updates to that as well. And then I'm going to do a deep dive into why I think Kenya Moore is a secret member of the Fox Force 5. And you guys can weigh in with your thoughts as well. But before we dive in, you guys know what to do. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. Check out our description box down below and shop our love collection. With that, you guys, let's dive right on in. So just as a quick refresher course, these are the players, okay? These are the players. There's Kenya Moore, who we all know from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Then we have Garcelle, and it's important to note that Kenya is on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, which is an all black cast, okay? There used to be Kim Zolciak, she was the only white girl on the show. Whatever. But, we can pretty much say Atlanta is predominantly an all black cast. Okay. Now we have Garcelle Beauvais. And Garcelle Beauvais is on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, as we all know, which is a predominantly white cast. It has been pretty much white ever since before Garcelle got on the show. And then obviously we have Krista Minkoff, who is Asian, but it's a pretty predominantly white cast show. Now, next to Garcelle, that is her ex-husband, Michael Nylon. Now, Michael Nylon is Garcelle's second husband, okay? He is the one that is the father of her twin boys, Jax and Jade. Yes, Jax of Botgate. That is Jax's father. They divorced in 2001 due to his infidelity. And speaking of his infidelity, next to him is Shannon Barr. Now, I'm going to do some updates because I had recently reported that, because a source that was stated that she and Michael were married, but that's not true. On my next slide, I'm going to share all of the updates to make sure that all of our information is accurate and correct, okay? So we're going to do some updates. But this is Shannon Barr, and this is his current girlfriend. They are not married, but this is the thing. Shannon Barr is Kenya Moore's publicist and longtime friend, okay? So that's who all the players are. Shannon Barr is Kenya Moore's publicist. She is also the current girlfriend of Garcelle's ex-husband, Michael Nylon. And they divorced because he was being unfaithful. Okay. Now, let's move on to slide 2. So this is the Shannon Barr updates. Shout out to House of Aaron. This is a content creator that got the exclusive updates, okay? Because, friend of, source of Kenya, a source close to Kenya had given, allegedly, again, everything's alleged, rumored, opinion based, okay? Had allegedly given certain outlets information. Shout out to House of Aaron. Shannon Barr then DM'd Aaron with trying to correct what was going on. But while she was correcting, some of the things that weren't correct, she also was throwing major shade at Garcelle, okay? She was also showing major shade at him. I have linked the video, House of Aaron's exclusive that he got from Shannon Barr. I've linked that video down below if you want to go give him a subscribe, if you want to watch the video, like and share it. So I want to give him his props and his credits because this information is from his exclusive, okay? Now, Shannon Barr update. So she wanted to clear the air, okay? But she ended clearing the air when Aaron asked her, well, is there any, beef between you and Garcelle? Is there any tension between you and Garcelle? Because, Garcelle's the ex wife, she's the mother of his children, and you are his long term girlfriend. And her response was, quote, there is no tension on my end whatsoever. Now, to me, we know how to read between the lines, and Aaron said it too. We know how to read between the lines. Don't forget, Shannon Barr is a publicist. She's a smart woman. She knows how to wordsmith things. She knows how to say something without saying something, right? So, this is the thing. Her saying there's no tension on my end whatsoever. First of all, the whatsoever is very dismissive to Garcelle. If you've been with Michael this time, this is the mother of his children, you still should show her some type of respect. I'm not saying you guys are going to be buddy buddy. Probably not. It would be in a magical world, everybody would be buddy buddy. But in the real world, clearly that may not happen. But if you're going to be around her children that you've been around for the last 10 years, you don't need to be like whatsoever. And then also, I thought it was really shady to say there's no tension on my end, which when I hear somebody say that, it implies to me that there is tension on the other person's end. Do you know what I mean? That somehow the other person has a beef with me, but I'm cool. I don't have any tension on my end whatsoever. They're not that important to me. But yet, they're sweating me. If the tension's on their end. That's how I kind of read into that. I thought that was kind of shady and unnecessary. You're around this woman's children. Chill out, Shannon, okay? Now, these are the other things she said to sort of set the record straight. She said Shannon and Michael, they're not married, okay? Previously reported they were married, but they're not. Shannon alleges she and Michael have been together for 10 years and she was not, quote, a side chick. And she claims that they met after they split. They, as in Garcelle and Michael. Now, this is the thing. Other than, Mia Thornton from Real Housewives of Potomac, other than, Caroline Brooks from Real Housewives of Dubai, I don't know a lot of women that want to admit they were the side chick. Okay? This is my personal opinion. She is saying she was not the side chick. She just so happened to meet Michael after everything. My personal opinion on that is BS. My woman intuition doesn't believe it. I just don't buy the fact that this man, Michael Nylon, was cheating on Garcelle, his wife and the mother of his kids, for 5 years with multiple. Let's just say the 5 years and multiple women came from that source, but Garcelle has come out and said that the reason why they got divorced was because he was unfaithful. So we know that's true. Okay. So if he's been unfaithful and they get divorced in 2011 and she's saying that they've been together for 10 years, that's 2012. So were you the side chick before that and then you finally got the title as girlfriend? Because you're still just his girlfriend. You've just been dating him for 10 years. You're not engaged and you're not his wife. So you're still just, I guess, girlfriend. Does he claim you as a girlfriend? I don't know. It just doesn't feel, it's something doesn't smell right to me with this. Something just doesn't smell right to me, okay? Just on a female gut level, it doesn't sound right. To me, what makes the most sense is Shannon, you were sleeping with Michael. He was married to Garcelle. Garcelle found out that he was cheating with multiple women. They ended up getting a divorce, and you still stuck around for the hit it and the quit it. Maybe you're a girlfriend now. I don't know. That's just what I think. And this is no shade to Shannon. Shannon, by all accounts, looks like she's very beautiful and she's successful. She has her own PR company. So my gut feeling around whether or not I think she was a side chick is not me saying I think she's a horrible person or she's bad or trying to discredit her. I just think that we're all humans and we've all done things and we've all have been in situations. So I'm not trying to shade her. I'm just not stupid. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Now, this is another time when she was shady to Garcelle. She says that she, quote, has no idea if there was a down low beef between Kenya and Garcelle, hasn't, quote, heard of one. Still, that's not a true confirmation or denial. That's still that wordsmithy stuff, right? It's that slick denial, but not a straight, no, there's no beef between them. Absolutely not. Well, I haven't heard of one, but I have no idea. Girl, like, again, we're not stupid. You know what I mean? You're saying something without actually saying it. You're trying to be slick, right? Girl, bye. And as we've seen, if you guys missed it, I did a deep dive into how the Amsterdam dinner from hell foreshadowed the downfall of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills currently, because they like to recycle storylines and schemes and scam. Well, doesn't this sound hella familiar? Isn't this the same scheme? Didn't Erica's publicist, wasn't that publicist the one who allegedly was rumored to be leaking stuff to the press, bloggers, and media about Kathy Hilton? Now, all of a sudden, it's Kenya Moore's publicist who's, hitting up Aaron in his DMs to, quote, set the record straight. And there's a, quote, friend of Kenya, quote, anonymous source leaking stuff to the blogs. Haven't we heard this story before? Like, haven't we heard this story before? At least let it be somebody else on the team. Does the publicist have to do the dirty work all the time? Do they have to do it all the time? Damn. All right, you guys, now let's get into, because I wanted everyone to have the background information. I wanted to do the updates because I want to make sure I'm sharing accurate information, as accurate as it can be. And also, to that end, every source that I use, it's linked down below in the description box. There's at the very bottom, I say resources, and every resource I use is linked down below so you guys can verify all of the information and the details, okay? So, I wanted you guys to have that background information. I also want to do a very quick PSA. Okay. As a Black woman, talking about this alleged beef or whatever between Kenya and Garcelle and Shannon, because all three of them are Black women, I want to have this caveat. I'm going to be honest about my opinions about these women. And even if I may have an unfavorable opinion or thought about their actions, that is still not me taking away from their beauty, from their intelligence, from their success, from their accomplishments. It's just me being a content creator, having an opinion about reality TV stars. Okay. So I'm gonna put that out there because we don't need beef in between anybody, all right? So let's get into it. So with that said, let's move on to our next slide. So Kenya Moore, and the people that I'm referring to as the faux Fox 5, I'm talking about Lisa Rinna, Kyle Richards, and Erica Girardi. We know we have Ding Dong Dorit. We know we have Mouthpiece Teddy. And we know we have Dirty Diana, but they're not involved in this particular scheme. So I'm keeping it down to the core three, Lisa, Erica, and Kyle. Okay, now, Kenya Moore x Lisa Rinna. So back in July of 2022, Kenya Moore called Lisa Rinna, quote, my girl, after her racist post against Garcelle and the Real Housewives of Dubai, okay? Now, let me cite my sources. Give me a sec. Okay, so this is from Lipstick Alley, okay? So this is, obviously, we all remember Lisa Rinna's post where she says, we fight in our show. If we fight with Garcelle, we are all of a sudden called a racist. That's BS. I will not accept that. I will express myself when and how I want, and I am not afraid of any of you hoes. That's a microaggression. And if you are just so triggered by our show, a lot of you P words, as a lot of you P words are. Then it goes on to say, the Days of Our Lives actress continued in another story. If you are just so triggered by our show, and a lot of you P words are, go watch Dubai. This had a lot of backlash. It was obviously the microaggression, calling people hoes. We know that's a microaggression towards Black women. Her saying that if they have an issue with Garcelle on the show, they're considered racist. No, when you do racist things, you're considered racist, not because you go against Garcelle. Get it together, sweetheart. And that's really a blip of all the racist thing Lisa Rinna has done. And during this, as you can see, the other image is from, again, this is from Lipstick Alley, and everything's leaked down below. It's Kenya Moore hearting one of Lisa Rinna's posts saying, "My girl." And then she's getting backlash. They're like, of course she would be your girl. Why would you say this? Blah, 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 right? Also, it was triggering and she got a lot of backlash because why is she going after the Real Housewives of Dubai? Why? I mean, which is a very, in my opinion, I think a very well done, diverse cast. They have women from the Middle East, they have Black women, they have white women. I think it's actually a very well done, diverse cast. Why is she going after those women? Why is she throwing them into the mix? Lisa Rinna, shut up. It's enough. It's enough. And this is Kenya Moore windmilling for Lisa Rinna right during the heyday of this. And not to mention, I believe Botgate against Jax happened around August of 2022. So this is right before Botgate happens. This is in the heyday of Lisa Rinna being exposed for even more of the racist stuff she's done. And we'll get into some more of that, okay? Now, these are some reasons why people were saying Kenya Moore was windmilling for, what do you call it, for Lisa Rinna, okay? Now, don't worry if you can't see it on the screen. I will read it for you, okay? And this is a blind item from Crazy Days and Nights. Which, as we all know, this is actually the blogger that Diana Jenkins is now suing, which is not nice and not a good look, okay? But I will read to you what it says on the screen in case you can't see it, all right? Blind item revealed. Well, first the post says, in addition to Kenya's mental colonization, we've all seen how ubiquitous she gets around white people. She is hoping to leverage her relationship with Lisa into a gig with QVC. And this is from the blind item. It says, and this is from July 2nd, 2022. Remember, this is the same exact time that she's calling Lisa Rinna, quote, "my girl," after Lisa Rinna did her whole racist post against Garcelle, quote, "hoes," the P-word people, and the Real Housewives of Dubai. It says, this housewife is back on the show again and also made a new ally on the West Coast who promised her a home shopping gig, which is why you see the very unexpected love between them. Kenya Moore / Lisa Rinna. Okay? And then below it, it says, this y'all queen, she is getting tore up in the comment section. For those non-believers, her comment is on Rinna's most recent post on IG, but here's a screenshot. And that's the screenshot I showed on the previous slide of her calling her "my girl" right after she did all that racist crap against, Garcelle and Dubai and all of that. Why is she windmilling for her during that time? Okay? It's really, really, really messed up. Now, let's get into some, and just to quickly recap that, Kenya Moore is calling Lisa Rinna "my girl" during the height of Lisa Rinna being exposed for all her past racist stuff, her current racist stuff, and people are saying it's because, for whatever reason, her and Lisa Rinna, she thinks that Lisa Rinna is going to somehow get her a gig at QVC, okay? Now, let's look at some reactions. Again, don't worry if you cannot read it. I will read it for you. So one of the reactions at the bottom, and again, this is from Lipstick Alley, citing my sources, it says, I wonder if Kenya will get paid her 30 pieces of silver or if she sold Garcelle for not. Okay, that was one of the reactions. And then another one of the reactions was, wait, you guys, that is too small for me to read. So one sec, I gotta pull it up myself so I can see it. Okay. Now it says, okay, so this is in response to the person who said, in addition to Kenya's mental colonization, it talks about the blind item. Now, another response says, not to mention, when was the last time was Rena even on QVC? I thought her ratings tanked after the Kavanaugh disagreement with Camille, plus the clothes weren't selling. Kenya stays making poor choices. Reason people's character. So those are some of the responses that people were giving to Kenya out here windmilling on behalf of Lisa Rinna. Now, the situation with Lisa Rinna and QVC is important, and we will go through that on another slide. It might be the next slide, actually. I think it's this slide. Okay. All right. So here's another one with Kenya Moore ex Lisa Rinna. So this is what I kind of gathered with this. This isn't the first time that Lisa Rinna has used the Black community to cover up her evilness. So Lisa Rinna used, and this source is Yahoo Life. Okay, this is my source, Yahoo Life. Lisa Rinna used the Black Lives Matter and the gay community to cover up the real reason behind her QVC channel boycott, which is her own racism, okay, and questionable political views. So allegedly, she was going at it with Camille Grammer about Judge Kavanaugh. Unfortunately, in my personal opinion, he is now a Supreme Court judge. As we all know, he had a bunch of controversy regarding, a potential assault against a woman. Allegedly, Lisa Rinna was defending him, this whole situation, whatever. Also, as you can see, they were calling for a boycott against Lisa Rinna on QVC because her racist past got exposed. We've talked about her racism on here ad nauseum. We all know the deal. Sid and Nancy, calling Star Jones a thug in a cocktail dress, going against Dionne Warwick, saying, Black women are like gorillas. The list can go on and on and on. Harry Hamlin's problematic past came up. Star Jones saying that she was, harassing her, what she did to Vivica Fox. The list can go on and on. Okay, so that's the reason why people are actually trying to call for a boycott for Lisa Rinna's QVC, but instead Lisa Rinna publicly was saying it was because they were trying to silence her. And then she posted about Black Lives Matter and supporting the gay community, which is like, what the hell? But she's done this before. Lisa Rinna, again, accusing a Kathy Hilton of being racist, a homophobic, a white supremacist, when her past is actually more in alignment with that than Kathy Hilton is. We also know Lisa Rinna has pulled the cancer card and all this other stuff. It's just a lot. It's too much. And don't forget about the post we just read, saying, oh, if I go against Garcelle, I'm racist. So is there any credence to the conspiracy theory that if Lisa Rinna is willing to use Black Lives Matters, the gay community, unfortunately her sister who passed away to an overdose to go after Kim Richards, weaponizes her own mother's death, her grieving process to, talk about her being so evil to other people in a double disaster on Instagram, is it that far-fetched that she would use Kenya because she's Black to go after Garcelle? Okay, so let's go on to the next slide. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Now, this is Kenya Moore, ex Kyle Richards. All right. Because remember, she is an agent of chaos for the Fold Box 5. Let me get this bigger again so I can read it to you. All right, you guys. So Kenya Moore, ex Kyle Richards. All right. So again, this is back in July and August and up to 2022. Don't forget, this is again the time Lisa Rinna posting all the racist stuff, going against Garcelle. And this is also right around the time that Botgate against Jax kicks off. Okay. Same exact time frame, that July, August of 2022. So Kenya Moore is hanging out and posts pics with Kyle Richards in Paris during the height of Rinna's racist post and Botgate against Garcelle's son. And then don't forget that Kenya Moore supported Kyle Richards and she shaded Garcelle for pulling, quote, the race card. So remember back when Garcelle first came on the show and there was the whole situation with Kyle saying, you didn't pay for the charity bid that you did because Kyle was trying to do a dig at Garcelle. And Garcelle said, hey, listen, that cuts really deep. It means something differently. When a white woman says to a black woman, you didn't pay your bill, it means something differently because of the community that I represent and the unfortunate and usually untrue stereotypes that can come with that. And Garcelle was just trying to explain to Kyle that, would you have said that to any other white woman? And even if you had, it would mean something different. Because we have to be honest, sometimes when you say something to a black person versus a white person versus an Asian person versus a Hispanic person, it lands differently and it means something different. Because race matters, context matters. It's just the truth of the game. And she was just trying to have that conversation. And then Kenya Moore Hair Care comes over here windmilling for Kyle, going to Kyle's defense. Oh, I don't think Kyle Richards calling Garcelle out about not paying her donation has anything to do with color. Girl, yes, it does. Stop lying. It's not a black or white issue. It's a green issue. You wish it was a green issue, sweetheart. That's not a green issue. That's not what a green issue actually means, sweetheart. So stop it, Kenya. Let's not pull the race card every episode. She didn't pull the race card every episode. They weren't cool at the time. Glad they talked it through. # Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And obviously, Kyle Richards liked the post because she's windmilling on behalf of Kyle Richards and going against Garcelle. Okay? Now, this also, I wanted to highlight a note. The Kenya's pick-me behavior kind of echoes to the fact that, remember at the very first reunion when Garcelle was on the show and she said someone, aka Denise Richards, sent her text messages or told her that Lisa Rinna didn't want her on the show because she was black, and she said it wasn't, quote, that type of show. This to me is Kenya kind of echoing, being like, I'm not that type of black girl. Like, I'm not the black girl that's going to play the race card. I'm not that type of black girl that's going to bring race into it. You know what I mean? Like, she's kind of doing that. Like, she's trying to be like, well, I'm not that type of girl. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. But I thought that was meaningful given all of that situation. And now she's talking about the race card. And don't forget, she did the same exact thing to Ebony K. Williams. When Ebony K. Williams came on the scene for the Real Housewives of New York City, again, a predominantly white show, and she's the only black girl, Kenya accused Ebony of pulling the race card. Kenya, do you have a problem that you're not on a predominantly white cast? Is that what the issue is? Do you think that you should be on Beverly Hills and not with Atlanta? Do you think that you should be in New York and not on Atlanta? Why are you defending Luann de Lesseps? Why are you defending Kyle Richards against Ebony and against Garcelle? And the thing is, you don't have to be friends with Garcelle or Ebony. You don't have to have loyalty to them, but you also don't have to shade them. You don't have to publicly speak out against them. That's the weird part that I don't get. And apparently, I'm not the only person who feels that way, okay? So let's talk about some reactions. Don't worry, if you can't read it, I will read it for you, okay? So what slide? We are on slide 8. Let me pull it up so I can read it too. All right, so these are some of the reactions, okay? It says, Kenya sees women as competition, always has a pattern of doing shady stuff outside of her supposed rhoa villain, quote, character. Example, Vivica Fox, that part. Her Menage a Trois, her Trois co-star, shared how she played her by not picking her up for an audition, etc. Her shade towards Garcelle should not be surprising, being that their careers are so similar. As much as I like Kenya, Lipstick Alley makes too many excuses for her nutty self. If this was anybody else, y'all would be calling them all types of blank words. Okay. This is another one. Someone says, I don't give an F of what the situation is. A Black person should never accuse another Black person of using, quote, the race card ever. Someone comments and says, exactly, even the term race card is loaded with suspected white supremacist undertones. What's wrong with Kenya besides her hatred of other Black women? She needs counseling to work through her alleged mother issues. Okay. This is another comment. I like Kenya, but this is probably true given the way she subtly comes for Garcelle unprovoked. I remember when Garcelle and Kyle had their issue regarding the charity payment, and Kenya said to Garcelle, shouldn't play the race card all the time, when that was literally the first time she ever brought up an issue involving race. Somebody commented back, that is so weird for her to say. She's on an all-Black franchise. She hasn't had to deal with what Garcelle had to deal with. I mean, damn. If you aren't going to support Garcelle, don't minimize her pain. And I agree with that comment so much. I agree with that comment so much. And I think that is really the essence of all of this BS. All right. So now let's get into her friendship with Erica Jane Girardi. All right. Let's get into her friendship with Erica Jane Girardi. So they have been friends for years. The tweet on the side is from 2016. Okay, the tweet on the side is from 2016. Let me pull it up so I can read it to y'all. This is Kenya Moore saying, did this B, so she's literally calling some other person the B word. I don't know who she's referring to. Just call at Erica Jane snooty and cold. Hashtag she tried it. And this is from back in December of 2016. So Kenya Moore has been windmilling and being friends with Erica since 2016. They have a very long-standing friendship. Certain things to note, Erica Jane passes the Dancing with the Stars torch to Kenya Moore. When Erica got eliminated, she said she wants the person to be next on the show is Kenya. As we know, Kenya actually does get on the show, and she's saying the one person she's asking for advice is Erica Jane. And as we've seen, their friendship has gone on for a very long time. And then Kenya said that she wanted to do a song with Erica Jane, and she playfully shaded Candy about it. Now, again, I'm going to be fair. I think when she was talking to Candy about it, it was playful shade. But it also goes just to Kenya Moore's mentality. We can play it. This is from Radio Andy, okay? So let's play it and we can all listen, all right?
Have you met Erica yet? Erica Jane in Beverly Hills?
No, you asked me that before.
Yeah.
And Kenya told me, I was talking to Kenya one day.
Kenya likes her.
Yeah, she loves her.
Yeah.
And I said, oh yeah, Andy mentioned that maybe she and I should do a song together. And she was like, not before she and I do a song together.
Oh.
That is my friend. I said, oh, okay. Excuse me.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. That's really funny.
So they have to do it first.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I just thought, Erica legitimately, she's got a bunch of Billboard dance hits. So
right. Well, that's
Candy
what you
has
told me.
stayed away from. I'm always like, Candy, you should do a song with X person or Y. And Candy's like, I'm not getting involved in housewives songs.
Yeah.
Candy wrote the highest charting, I think, one-hit wonder housewife song, Tardy for the Party, so she's done. But I do want you to get...
Yeah, you guys. So, again, I don't think that Kenya Moore was saying that in a nasty... I'm sorry. Yeah, Kenya Moore was saying it in a nasty, truly shady way to Candy about Erica, but I do think it speaks to the mentality that Kenya has and the territorialness she has with Erica Jane and by proxy Lisa Rinna and Kim Richards when it comes to the housewives, particularly being the Black housewife. You know what I'm saying? There's just a pattern of that type of behavior. Now, let's move to our next slide. So this is one of the moral of the stories. And don't worry if you can't read it, because I will read it for you. So this is one of the comments that I really agree with. It says, I don't mind Kenya, and this is from Lipstick Alley. I don't mind Kenya, but the way she runs behind these white women is so odd. Once okay, but this is the third time, and she always seems to do it whenever they're in hot water regarding some race stuff. The Garcelle Kyle, and then the Luann Ebony thing, and now this, I don't know. Have any of them ever shown her any public support when she's getting dragged? For example, where was Kyle, Luann, and Rena during the Native American costume controversy? I think that's a really valid point. Another comment on brand. Kenya is one of those. Her behavior on the Real Housewives Girls Ultimate Girls Trip was interesting, to say the least. Side note, that is referring to how Kenya really just disrespected and threw Cynthia under the bus in favor of, you know, placating to Teresa and to Luann and to Kyle, okay? Now, it goes on to say, also, she spoke out against Garcelle in defense of Kyle. She loves Teresa, Rena is her girl, and she has no issue with Luann, who moves just like Portia when it comes to men, and she was kissing Kim's butt before Kim dissed her. On brand. No lies detected there. No lies detected there. And then this is my last slide, which is another moral of the story. Okay? And I think this is really the moral of the story. The issue is not that Kenya is friends with Erica Jane, Lisa Rinna, and Kyle Richards, and Teresa, and Luann. That's not the issue. It's that she has a pattern of disrespecting other Black women in order to do so, including, but not limited to, Garcelle Beauvais, Cynthia Bailey, Ebony K. Williams, and I should have put Vivica Fox on this as well, because she did Vivica dirty on Apprentice. So there you have it. That is my personal conspiracy theory on why I think that Kenya Moore is a Fox 4-5 sleeper agent. I think they activate her whenever they need a Black face to clean up and cover for their bad, at times, racist and vile behavior. But like that person says, when has Lisa Rinna ever had Kenya's back? I actually think, didn't Lisa Rinna call Kenya Kendra once? She got her name wrong. She called her Kendra. When has Kyle ever had Kenya's back? Kenya gets dragged. The Native American debacle, costume debacle, and other stuff when she gets dragged. When has Erica ever had Kenya's back? Sure, they're BFFs, they're kikiing, they're doing Dance with the Stars, X, Y, and Z, but I have never heard Erica, like, defend Kenya. But Kenya comes out, when has Lou? When has Teresa? But Kenya comes out and defends them, and not just defends them, she shades other Black women in order to do so. She played the hell out of Cynthia Bailey on the Real Housewives of Ultimate Girls Trip. Sure, Cynthia is an adult and she was acting immature and very codependent, but Kenya is very highly intelligent, and she set that up. She knew how to trigger Cynthia, and she triggered Cynthia. So that way she could go on the show and be like, Cynthia's crazy. She's being clingy. She's being annoying. She's so jealous of our friendships. It's classic narcissistic behavior. She made Cynthia the target that bonded her with Lou and Teresa and Kyle and Melissa Gorga. Let's not forget about Melissa Gorga. She was all up Melissa's butt. And this is the thing. Again, she could have been friends with whoever she wants to be friends with. White, Black, yellow, polka dot, that doesn't matter. Who cares? You can be friends with whoever you want to. The problem is, for whatever reason, in my opinion, Kenya feels like in order to be picked by the white woman, she has to put down other Black women. That's just my personal opinion on it. And that's not to take away from Kenya's beauty, her intelligence. She's a great mother. She's had great success, her accomplishments, none of that. But based on everything I've seen and found, that is the logical conclusion that I drew. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down in the comment section below. Do you think I've made the case? I've laid out the evidence. I have the receipts. My resources are linked below, and these are all credible sources, okay? These are credible sources. This is Yahoo. This is People Magazine, okay? And this is also actual receipts, what she actually tweeted, what she actually said, okay? So take that with what you will. Have I laid out the case that Kenya Moore is a secret sleeper agent for the Fox Force 5? Because I think she is. I think she is. Or are you like, nope, Candy, you're totally off the mark. Kenya Moore does not have some underlining subconscious issue with other beautiful, intelligent, accomplished, strong Black women who are able to play in multiple spaces. By multiple spaces, I mean Black spaces, diverse spaces, white spaces, because I think that's a part of it. I think that's a part of it. But put it down below. I'm going to do my quick outro for people watching on the replay, but stick around, Candy Canes, because I do want to get to some of your comments and questions. So as always, before you comment down below, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, be sure to share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. Check out our description box down below and shop our love collection. We have a ton of stuff down there. We got books, podcasts, movies, mugs, hoodies, dresses, t-shirts, all of it. So go ahead and shop our love collection and check out the description box down below. So thank you for liking the video, subscribing, and sharing. So with that, you guys, let's take some of your candy